Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. YouTube account here for discussion of crime shows, Esquire 777 on YouTube. Let's talk about the movie Concussion. Let me lead with this. In the 1970s, when we hardly had cable television, there was a daredevil named Evel Knievel. And Evel Knievel announced that he was going to try to jump the Grand Canyon. There was a buzz. The event took place on live TV. Right? Knievel, instead of using a motorcycle, had a little mini rocket made. Many of us watching the telecast, and it was highly rated, thought that we were watching a guy about to kill himself. Well, Evel Knievel didn't make it across the Grand Canyon, but he lived. I encourage everyone to Google that. Right? Understand, there are many of us who slow down on the highway to watch car crashes. Right? People feel that looking at risks, looking at guys diving off cliffs into, waters with a lot of rocks, or looking at guys ride motorcycles off ramps, or looking at guys put on gloves and box, or do MMA, or bullfighting. Many of us find that kind of high-risk activity, ski jumps, to be exhilarating, entertaining. Right? Man against nature. Now, this movie Concussion, and I'm a fan of the NFL, I'm a fan of boxing, I'm a fan of the sports that I've just discussed. This movie Concussion is a must-see. A must-see. Let me applaud everyone involved in this movie, especially Hollywood superstar Will Smith, because quite frankly, superstar actors need to challenge their audience. They need to point out truths that are uncomfortable. To quote Al Gore, inconvenient. Right? This movie does that. Let me say too, I don't know who the director is. I'm more of a casual moviegoer. But this director somehow found a way to get the A game out of several actors and actresses in this movie. Right? Let me say, the guy who plays Mike Webster and the guy who plays Andre Waters really give Oscar caliber performances. Will Smith is on his game. Alec Baldwin is on his game. The subject matter is heavy. It's relevant. It's big. When the movie is filmed in northern Pennsylvania, it's scenic. I'm someone who doesn't like a lot of syrup unless I'm having breakfast. So the parts that talk about Will Smith's love life, whatever. You know what I mean. But still, I give this movie my highest rating. And I say that as someone who supports football. Let me say this, right? Highest rating, you should go see it. I'm not going to give away the plot. But let's just be real here for a second, right? I'm not saying football is the healthiest sport in the world. But one thing to ponder as you look at this movie, they show you Mike Webster, right? They don't show you Mike Webster before he plays football. They show you Andre Waters. You don't know anything about Andre Waters before he plays football. Right? Even when Will Smith meets with a member of Waters' family, they're talking about Waters as a football player. Okay, fair enough. But if we're going to critique the risk of injury in sports, we need to go back a little farther, don't we? We need to look at the choices people have to get out of possibly desperate situations, right? You're growing up in the hood. If someone asks you about your father, you don't know who he is. Mom's struggling to put food on the plate for you and the other kids, and there are a few of them. Let's say literacy isn't really that high in your neighborhood. Let's say you don't know a doctor, you don't know a lawyer, right? College grads, what's that? College is really more of a concept for people on TV. Right? Now, against that backdrop, you're participating in an activity that is high risk, but suddenly the colleges are calling you. Suddenly you're getting access to worlds that weren't possible. You're looking around at the adults around you, right? You see people, in jobs that aren't, let's say, put it this way, every job that helps you feed your family is a meaningful, significant job. But let's say the jobs that people around you have aren't high paying, aren't glamorous. They don't look happy when Monday morning rolls around. Right? That's the life of many. Right? Many of these kids view football as a way to improve their lives, to give themselves an opportunity. Right? If you're looking at an athlete who has CTE, right? Really the questions to ask are, what choices did he have in life before he entered football? Right? Dig a little deeper too and, ask yourself, what kind of shining moment in life did this guy have? Did football allow him to have? Right? Travel. Meeting the woman of your dreams. Having a family. Right? Sending kids to, dare I say, college. Right? Living in a neighborhood that your parents couldn't dream of living in. Right? Understand, many people know the risks of brain injury and have known the risks of brain injury for a long time. When I was a little boy, I heard about punch-drunk syndrome. Right? In boxing, years ago, you understood that there were many great champions who got injured in the ring. In boxing right now, you look at the great trainers, Nacho Beristain, eye injury. Freddie Roach, Parkinson's, right? Joel Diaz, eye injury. I just named 3 of the best trainers in the entire sport, right? You look at the fighters, slurred speech on some guys. Other guys, Muhammad Ali, Parkinson's. Other fighters, Wilfred Benitez, aren't in the public light, right? I'm positive that many of these guys suffered injuries in the ring. For me personally, the best moment of concussion happens too quickly. Dave Duerson is walking out of a meeting. He runs into Bennett Amalu, the doctor played by Will Smith. Right? Duerson is livid. Duerson says to him, my father can't remember a thing these days. He never played football. He worked in a factory all of his life. Right? If there's a flaw on this movie, it's the idea that they don't talk about the factory as much as they should. They don't talk about the life options these guys have before they choose a life of football. Right? So, let me say this. Excellent movie. Thought-provoking movie. I can hardly think of a better way to spend 2.5 hours at a movie theater. Right? Kudos all around. It's a must-see. Right? I will say, too, I agree with those who believe that there's been a cover-up going on, an active cover-up of the health risks involved in football. I also agree with those who believe that youngsters really don't have the maturity. And I'm talking about, young guys playing pee-wee football. They don't have the maturity to understand the risk involved. And perhaps society needs to step in. to modify Pee Wee football so there's not head trauma. But let's also embrace assumption of risks. Let's understand that there are many people in the sport today who understand the risks and have chosen to play. Let's not be naive and think that the fans don't know of the risks. That people like me watching Evel Knievel try to jump across the Grand Canyon don't realize that there's a risk that this guy could get hurt. Right? Understand, many of these guys have enriched their lives through football and are playing the odds. Right? Many people look at Frank Gifford, who recently died and who was diagnosed with CTE, and view him as someone who had a good life, right? Who had a supporting family, who was on TV post-football for years around some of the biggest events in the National Football League, right? So let me close by saying the movie Concussion is a must-see. For those of you into researching crimes, I want you to realize that one of the main characters in this movie is Cyril Weck, the pathologist who, of course, is a big critic of the Warren Commission's investigation of the Kennedy assassination. This movie is not about one man. It's not about Bennet Omalu. It's about a team of doctors in Pittsburgh taking on a corporate Goliath. Right? It's about a team of doctors understanding that their findings, right, or their, support of Bennet Omalu's findings is going to land them in hot water, and who decide that they need to be in hot water, right? It's about a director really bringing out a lot out of a lot of actors, right? I give this movie my highest rating. I don't do that often. And I'll admit, there are times, particularly the times involving Will Smith's love life, where, I thought, well, now would be a great time for a bathroom break. I'm not saying the movie is perfect, but what I am saying is it is the perfect experience, right? It's very thought-provoking. I support it 100%. Let me go one step further. I have no doubt that the NFL is going to continue on. I have no doubt that whatever drives people to watch a boxing match where the goal is to give a guy a concussion for 10 seconds, whatever drives people to watch Evel Knievel try to jump across the Grand Canyon, whatever causes motorists going one way to slow down and look at the accident in the other direction on the highway, that's going to continue on. But I have no doubt that the men making a choice to play football, or that parents making a choice to have their kids play football, as a result of movies like this, is going to be much more reasoned and much better informed. And for that, I applaud everyone. Thumbs up from me. Let me hear from you. If you see the movie this holiday season and you want to leave your own critique of it, I hope you do so in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.